Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video, we're going to take a look at both charts, and we can see that currently the crypto market is recovering a little bit. Terra Luna, for example, over 20%, Bitcoin nearly 11%, and Cardano also nearly 10%. This is in line with what I told you in the last video, that I do now expect a little bit of a recovery for Bitcoin and possibly other cryptos as well, because Bitcoin is typically leading the market. All related to a lot of the indicators being, oversold, very much down. And just after I published the last video, we had this spike on the Bitcoin chart. So you can see that here we had quite a bit of a spike. The price moved within just a few, well, it was just here in 1 hour. I think it moved from 37.2 all the way up to 39 or nearly 40K, right? It did that all within just 1 hour. There are a few explanations for this. One possible explanation would be that it was a short squeeze, indicating that a lot of short sellers in the market, maybe leveraged shorts. People thought the price would go lower because of the news and everything that was going on in the world. But of course, the market makers know that, the whales know that, and they could cash, make a bit of cash, right? By basically throwing these short sellers out of the market. Another explanation might be that the gold profits from gold were moved into Bitcoin. This is something I read somewhere, and to be honest, it could be true, because the gold market in very similar time frame dropped by 5%. That is quite a lot for gold. Okay, so that could have been moved into Bitcoin for whatever reason, right? So anyway, it is doing what we talked about. So again, that worked out. It actually moved here into this wave 4 target area that we put in the chart as well. So all of that going according to plan. That wave 4 target area is sitting between, you can see that here, between Fibonacci levels. 38.3 is the ideal level. Yeah. Then we had the, oh no, why did I actually, just thinking, 2 to 3, no, the target area needs to be actually that. Ideally, yeah, for a possible wave 4, you want the price to go to an ideal level of 38.3, which it reached, or basically as a maximum the 39.5k level, 0.5 Fib level. It did reach that exactly and had a strong reaction to this. So we now need to see how the price continues to react to it. But it reached the wave 4 target, so it could be a wave 4 here as an absolute maximum. But this is not very often what happens with a wave 4. It could even go all the way up to the top of wave 1. If it moves above that, it will invalidate this whole downtrend. It would also mean that it's making here higher higher highs, yeah, and possibly higher lows. Don't really want that in this scenario here, where we're actually basically in a sell-off, in a wave, in a 5-wave move to the downside. This 5-wave move to the downside is still possible, but as I said, it should not move above 41.5. So this is what it still can get to without a problem. Actually, at the moment, it found strong reaction, and yeah, it basically had a strong reaction in this target area. And also found resistance here at the level that we identified already in the previous video. This descending trend line here found resistance, and it probably found resistance there because it was overbought here on the 1 hour time frame. You can see that, and it's already dropping. Also here the MACD is already dropping. Let's see, the 4 hour chart still has power. It's in the bullish range now. So, you know, if it's holding in this area, and the thing is, you can see it tried to break, so it obviously had a reaction here, but I think that was just because it went up too fast in a short period of time. Then we had another green candle, which is positive, and now a red candle, just to retest the previous Fibonacci level here at 38.3. So that was retested, and therefore I think we could actually move up further from here. Yeah, we don't have, the price isn't really moving away from that descending trend line, and this could even count as some sort of a, well, don't know if it could be a bull flag. Need to see how this is developing. You could see this at least at some sort of a consolidation pattern here. Yeah, and you could call it maybe a triangle. Yeah, or you can just call it something like a channel. Yeah, so we need to see. Generally, my view remains anyway that we are going to get into the target area. But as I said, as long as the price does not drop below 33K, we are still here in this scenario where we possibly have not completed the larger wave 4 yet. This larger one, yeah. that we started after we dropped down to 33K. This was the wave 3, and anything in this range here between 33 and 46.5, unfortunately, due to the volatility of the market, does not really change any scenario. Only if the price moves above 46.5K, then it unlocks much higher prices. That's a key resistance level, a very important one. Also a Fibonacci retracement level. And really to get a confirmation that the wave 4 here is over, the price needs to drop below 33K. So yeah, as I said in the last video, I do expect here some sort of a recovery. Could also be a little bit more of a substantial one. So if I zoom in here again on the 4-day chart, we can take a look at the indicators. The 4-day chart is very meaningful. On the MACD, and that is what is so important, it did reduce here all the selling pressure down. Yeah, it increased lately again. But if this prints a bullish crossover on the 4-day chart, then I think we can see a more substantial recovery. On the 2-day chart though, it's already turning to the downside, but you can see how it's flattening out here. Yeah, that we were about to get a bearish crossover on the 2-day chart, flattening out. So maybe that bearish crossover is getting stopped. On the daily here as well, it's turning to the upside. So again, if you get on the daily here a bullish crossover, then I think yeah, it also adds to the argument that we could see a little bit more of a recovery here. The last time we had this bullish crossover on the daily chart, the price moved here from around 36.5 all the way up to 45.5. So this is possible, right? And I did tell you that because Bitcoin was so much sold out, oversold, that yeah, the downside potential now is limited, and it did hold really well yesterday. Of course, everybody was surprised with what was going on in the Ukraine, but it did hold really well compared to some other markets. Okay, so that surprised me a little bit, and you can see that it has already, that initial shock is already over, because all these losses from yesterday have already been yeah, recovered basically. Okay, and also look at the huge candle here. So yeah, I think we could see a little bit more of a recovery, but my primary expectation remains the sell-off into the region down here between 20 and 29K. Let's take a look at Cardano. Not too much happened, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail here. Cardano is still in this descending wedge here in orange. You can see that coming down here, yeah, and on its way into the target area between 55 cents and 30 cents. Cardano also made a little bit of a recovery here, but overall what you can see, Cardano is making a lower high, a lower low, and it's, yes, it is a W pattern, but the second low is significantly lower than the previous one, and also that tells me that the downtrend is not over yet. It could theoretically move in this descending wedge for a while, still a few more weeks. Yeah, could move into this descent or within this descending wedge. And if we take a look on the RSI, also here we can see that it is very much oversold. So also here we could see or expect maybe a little bit of a recovery in line with Bitcoin, but yeah, it's very much down. So also here the downside potential is limited because the RSI on the daily is now at 31. So primarily I would expect also here a little bit of a recovery before we continue our sell-off for Cardano. So hopefully you liked the update about Bitcoin and Cardano. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, maybe check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.